In the book of Genesis, we have that famous story, one with which we're all familiar, where um, Jacob um, collaborates with his mother Rebecca to trick her husband, his father, Isaac, into giving him the blessing and the birthright, which in that culture normally would have gone to the firstborn son. And even though Jacob and Esau were twins, Esau was firstborn because he emerged from the womb first. And we're familiar with the story that occurs a little bit before that, where Esau uh, voluntarily gives to Jacob his birthright. You remember the story. Esau's been out hunting. He's been out in the woods all day long. He's famished. He comes in, and Jacob is cooking some stew, some soup. And Esau says, exaggerating, he says, "Give me some or I'm going to die." And Jacob replies, "Well, I'll trade you. I'll give you a bowl of soup if you give me your birthright." And Esau says, "Sure, here you go. Here's the birthright. You can have it. I don't want it." So we have two things there in the book of Genesis. We have the blessing and we have the birthright. Obviously, Esau didn't care about the birthright. He shrugged it off, gave it away for a bowl of soup. But later on, when Jacob and their mom trick dad into giving not only the birthright but also the blessing to Jacob instead of to Esau, Esau falls apart. "There's got to be a blessing for me too. There's got to be a blessing for me. Give me the blessing. Bless me too. Bless me too." He doesn't care about the birthright, but he really cares about the blessing. And that's because there is a distinction, I believe, between the two. A distinction that's not often understood, I don't think. The blessing in the Old Testament is a material blessing. The birthright is a spiritual blessing. The blessing is material. The blessing includes things like inheriting the land, inheriting in those days, the flocks and herds of animals. And they lived a nomadic existence, so it would mean inheriting the tribes and inheriting the um, all the stock and all the tents of the tribe, and inheriting the wells that the tribe has dug, the claim to a particular area to pasture one's pasture one's flocks and herds, as opposed to other tribes being in other areas. All of that's included in the blessing. But the blessing is more than just that. It is more than just simply land. And in a modern context, we would think of bank accounts and um, investments and houses and cars and stuff like that. Now, that's all part of blessing in the Old Testament sense. But it's not all that is included in the blessing. The blessing would also include things like science and technology, particularly the part of science that leads to technological advances that have the ability to increase the well being of others. So I don't want to give the impression that the blessing is just something that's, um, uh, all about me having stuff. It's also the ability to take the stuff of the universe and to use it for the good of all of creation. I think that in Esau's case, he was just knowing what I know about Esau. I think he was just speaking of the stuff, and I see that all the time. Um, I have worked as a healthcare chaplain for a number of years, and all too often I have seen families bitter and fighting over an inheritance, and it's usually such little stuff that you think, why in the world are you fighting? And divorcing couples do that also, spending thousands and thousands of dollars fighting over pots and pans and who gets this and who gets that, and uh, grandma or grandpa, mom or dad dying or dies, and family members squabbling and fighting and hating each other and plotting because it should be left to me instead of to her. And I was talking to a family member recently, and grandma left some money to one grandchild, but not to the person that I was talking to. And it really was a negligible amount of money in the grand scheme of things. And this person I was talking to kept saying, it's not about the money, it's not about the money, it's not about the money. When somebody keeps saying something like that, it's about the money. So in Esau's case, I think it was all about, flocks and herds and wells and land and stuff like that. But the concept does include anything that has to do with the material stuff of the universe. And so, again, science, technology. The birthright, on the other hand, is spiritual. The birthright is spiritual. The birthright includes the knowledge and the love of God. The birthright includes loving relationships between people and God, between people and the rest of nature, of creation. The birthright includes spirituality. It includes religion in the good sense of the word. It includes things like poetry, art, music, the fine arts, all the expressions, drama, all the expressions of human creativity. It includes fine literature. It includes, did I say music? All of that is wrapped up and included in the birthright. And by God's design, the blessing should always be subservient to the birthright. Love, grace, mercy, relationship with God, with others, with nature, should be the foundations upon which the stuff of the universe is used. So if those things are in fact the foundation, then that scientific discovery, that technological advance is going to be used for the good of humankind. It's going to be used to strengthen and to heal and to alleviate poverty. It's not going to be used to create atomic bombs. It's going to be used for life, not for death, for good, not for evil. Esau cared deeply about the blessing. He didn't give a rip about the birthright. Now, the way that Jacob, with the help of his mom, went about getting both for himself was completely wrong. It was coercive. And in the New Testament, in the kingdom of God, there's no room for coercion. But it was God's will. And if they had just trusted God, it would have worked out for him to have the birthright and the blessing. It is God's will for you to have the birthright and perhaps also a bit of the blessing. I do not mean that it's God's will for you to live in a mansion and drive a Rolls Royce and have a private jet and 6 private yachts and 5 different houses. That's not what I mean. God loves you too much to straddle you with all that junk, all that stuff. What I do mean is that God has given you abilities. God has given you talents. And some of those abilities, some of those talents have to do with the stuff of the universe. Maybe you have the ability to make or refinish a fine piece of furniture. Maybe you have the ability to cook an amazing apple pie. Maybe you have the ability to fix an engine. Maybe you have the ability to paint a room. The list goes on and on. For some, maybe you have the ability to discover things scientifically or to create new technologies or to be involved in finding a vaccine for a worldwide pandemic. There are those big things and there are little things, but all of us have talents of some kind that involve the stuff of the universe. That's the blessing. Whatever it is for you, use it to help others. It's called a blessing because it is given to you in order that you might bless others with it. God also has given you in Christ the birthright, the ability to have a deep, intimate, personal relationship with himself. He's given you the ability to love others and to be loved by others. He's given you the ability to love his creation and to take care of his creation. Maybe he's given you the ability to write or play music of some kind, or write poetry or essays or stories, or maybe he's given you the ability to paint pictures, or maybe he's given you the ability to dance. He's given all of us portions of the birthright. And as we take the birthright, recognizing that it comes from God, that our foundation is on knowing and loving God above all else, then the blessings flow from that, and our gifts and talents become a blessing to others. The blessing and the birthright.